Massive fossil fuel giant, oil company Shell. They built a bunch of hydrogen refueling stations in the United States, in particular in California, where they were told that, hydrogen cars were the next big thing. Toyota is still telling consumers that all over the world. If anyone will listen, Toyota will tell you hydrogen is it. Trust us, trust us. Guess what? Toyota has a deal with Shell to actually build hydrogen refueling stations and to supply fuel. So when Shell sells you hydrogen, Toyota makes a profit. It's a joint deal here. Very few people know about that. I made a video and it hasn't had that many views, maybe 50,000 or something like that. But here's the interesting part. I mean, Toyota is very clearly hyping up hydrogen vehicles because it stands to make a profit if it sells you one on the hydrogen that you're going to use. Now, Shell, I believe, is starting to think that deal with Toyota was a complete pointless waste of time and money because it has actually closed all of its hydrogen refueling stations in America. Why has it closed them? For two very good reasons, actually. Here's what those two reasons are. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Now, for a product to become commercially viable, it has to make a loss for a while, usually at the start, right, when the product becomes new. Hydrogen cars have been around for just a very short period of time. Actually, that's not true. That's what everyone will tell you. Toyota will probably tell you that. Don't worry, the technology is going to be just around the corner. We just need some time to develop it. That is poo-poo, nonsense, utter garbage. The truth is, hydrogen-powered vehicles have been under development for more than 35 years. So what? Year 36 is when they're going to take off? Year 47? BMW, General Motors, Honda, Toyota, they all want you to stay in this fossil fuel scenario. Why? Why do they want you to do that? Why do they want to promote hydrogen-powered vehicles? Well, I just told you what Toyota does, but I don't really know why the other companies are doing it. Shell. We all know why Shell does though. It's very clear, right? They want to sell you hydrogen fuel. It makes sense. It's their business. Sell fossil fuels. Shell did get incentives from the California government to build these hydrogen refueling stations. In fact, a lot of those incentives are still around. You can get them if you want. If you want to go build out some hydrogen refueling stations, you can get them, but you do have to put some of your own money in it. And Shell's probably hurting a little bit that it has to take a hit here. Now, Shell has had to close, it's basically had to really close 8 hydrogen refueling stations because you can't not have a person standing at the teller. You've got to pay that person to stand there. And if no one's coming through the door, you're paying for nothing. You're paying for nothing. You're literally paying for nothing. So along with the fact that once you've actually filled 50 vehicles, your hydrogen refueling station runs out of hydrogen. That's the average. There was 57 hydrogen refueling stations in California, but the average number of vehicles you can actually refill for each of them is 50. Imagine if you had a gas station. You can only refuel 50 cars before you had to wait a couple of days for the new tanker to come and refuel it. It's ridiculous how they ever thought this would be a success, a commercial success, because it never could have been. None of them have enough tank size to be able to refill a commercially viable number of vehicles. It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, Shell's actually started to wake up to that fact, and they've also started to wake up to the fact that there simply isn't the demand anyway. There's not even enough demand for 50. You know what? There's enough fuel cell stations in the US for you to have your own one and only share it with about 5 other vehicles. So there's about 6 hydrogen vehicles per fueling station, meaning there's nowhere near enough demand for the hydrogen, and there's nowhere near enough money coming in to be able to support the cost to have these premises open, have staff operating them, to have staff working there. It doesn't make any commercial sense whatsoever because hydrogen vehicles, their sales have not grown. They've basically stayed the same. Very small numbers. Resale values on hydrogen vehicles in the US is abysmal because if you buy them new, you get incentives to buy hydrogen. Sometimes you get it for free. Sometimes you get a 50% discount. Toyota will give you big incentives to do it, to get you in the door, but those incentives don't apply to the second user. So resale value is absolutely shocking. And also there's the fact that there's nowhere to refill them outside of California, meaning road trips are, virtually impossible unless you stay within California. Yeah, hydrogen is just not going to work in my opinion. Those are just some of the reasons. There's many others that I'm sure you're very well aware of. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? I don't think hydrogen-powered vehicles are ever going to take off, whether that be trucks or cars, I know a lot of people don't agree with me though. What are your thoughts? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.